High enough, you think, Marty?
Yeah, I would say you could put it the whole way up because you still have to deal with your side supports. You're only going to go down to 15 inches. And you really don't have to put the puck in, just whatever you feel necessary. So, and this will actually go in the cup holder if you're not going to use it. Siphon, but you never know.
Right.
But if you bump the saw, this comes with the machine in between the gullet in the center, and you have this adjustment here. It tells me if the blade's running up or down. It exaggerates.
I see.
This is the drive side. This is the idle side. Whatever you need to do there, but that comes with the machine.
Okay.
So this engages the blade, and that pulls the throttle up at the same time, snaps over center, then we release it. That stops the band from spinning. So we're going to eyeball our first cut and decide we want to take a slab off, and we could try to remember 15 1/4, but this is on a magnet, so we can slide the magnet around to the 4/4 mark. And you can kind of see the marks on the window there. And that's going to figure every cut down from this point. And with the round part of the log down, we're measured from the top down. Once we get the flat side down, we're actually going to think about the log from the bottom up. Then we'll actually slide our scale to whatever we want our last cut to be, whether it's 1 inch or a cant size. And then we're going to turn our set works on. So you have the hand button, which takes me back to manual mode, so I can run it manually. Or I can use the configurator button, which is the arrows around in the box, and it'll turn it on. So now when I touch it down, it's going to go down to the next cut all by itself. And adjust that a little bit. So every time I go down, it goes down to the next 4/4 mark. I pick the saw up.
Now, but you said earlier that does not include the kerf.
That's going to give me a 1 inch board.
Okay.
So we're 1 1/8 inch, so we're losing 1/8 of an inch per cut.
Okay. So it is giving us 1 inch.
Yes.
Okay.
So we have to determine what we want.
Yeah.
And then we'll go down to the next cut. It doesn't matter how far I lift it up. It's going to remember how much I picked it up plus come back to the next cut.
Nice.
So we're just going to cancel it now and go to manual mode and go back up to where we started.
Then after this first cut, we hit this button, right? And it'll know where it's at. So before you raise it at the end of the cut.
Right now, we want to do it anytime before the end of the cut, preferably right now.
Yeah.
Yep, so we're just going to go down to the next cut. And we're just going to start it up. We'll have to choke it. And we should check the engine oil, which I did. debarker, we moved it out, because if we don't, then we have a tendency to maybe set it on the log and bend something.
Right, I
So
got
at the
you.
end of the cut, get in the habit, you run it out, then it's out of your way. Pick up, go back, just let the machine set to the next set. Bring the set works in, or bring the debarker in, and take your next cut.
Got it.
And it's going to smoke because it's never been run, so
Yeah.
a little grease on there. All right, there's our first cut. Nice and smooth, not a lot of sawdust between the cuts. Pretty nice.
That is. It's a pretty nice cherry, actually. Once we get into it a little bit more. I don't know how far this bad spot goes into it, but
it's on a 45, so we still have a cutting here, 6 inches.
Yeah.
Still got a good decent board out of there.
very nice.
Now, since we have a flat side of the log down, we're going to think about the log from the bottom up.
Okay.
So if you had a certain, I call it a target width, so let's say on an 8-inch wide board, we could actually slide our magnet to line our 4/4 mark up with 8 inches. And again, the number really doesn't matter as long as you know what you want.
Right.
And then we just find the closest 4/4 mark. And every board will be 1 inch thick till we get to 8. And once we get to 8, then we can flip it over. We can do it anytime, really. So we have the 4/4 lined up right there now with the pointer. And again, it's actually figuring every log from the top to the bottom. So we don't have a cut there. But again, it's actually, we're doing the math from 8 inches up, 1 1/8
You can probably go another one.
And we're going to take one more drop. And we're going to verify that we're dropping down on our 4/4 mark, which is hitting the mark every time.
So, this one we need to bring the debarker in, right?
Yep, so we're going to back up a little bit.
Yeah, so Marty and I were just talking. You know, a lot of people say turn just 90 degrees, some people turn 180. I like this 180 because I kind of over tightened that one right there, and we don't have 90, so we need to readjust right now a little bit, right?
Yes.
Right there.
There you are. And we could lower that down a little bit and press on the bottom, but I think it'll be all right. Now we still have to remember our 14 inches.
Yes.
So we may want to take this cut off and then flip it over. You got the right speed that time. You don't have any of these grippers.
What's that?
You have the grippers here.
Yeah.
See how nice and smooth that is? Yep. Speed up. And again, you just do, so you're nervous now. It's a good thing to be.
Yeah.
Go ahead and unclamp. Just push the log back towards you just a little bit while we can. Get it lighten up. Now we can utilize that side support to see how it's going to work out. Again, you can kind of look at your pith and see where you want to take your boards off to balance your cuts. So, you got your defect there, so we're just going to flip it up this side. And that's something you do have to be aware of, to make sure nothing gets on the bed rail between the wood and the bed rail, because it'll knock it out of square again.
So I can run these all the way down now.
Yep. Now we'll have to watch for stress. If we something to see stress, though, we may have to flip it over and take it off the other side.
Okay. So this is one of the cherry boards we saw today. I have some other ones that are clear, but this is actually pretty nice. Pretty nice color. Well, it's now Wednesday evening and it's just about dark, but I tell you what, today was a good day. It really was. It took Marty and I till about 1 o'clock to get the mill all set up and running and saw our first log, and he was here first thing in the morning. However, we had to wait about 2 hours for that load of stone to level up the pad where we set the mill. Apparently their first thing in the morning and my first thing in the morning are two different things. But anyway, we got it all done, and so far so good. I'm really happy with the purchase. I think this mill is exactly the right one for me. You know, it doesn't have the log turners and all that stuff on it, but it does have power feed, power up and down. The simple set works, and the big capacity is what I was really after. I think I can do like 35.5-inch wide slabs on this, which is just perfect. So I have a lot to learn though, I really do. And I had reached out to Nathan from Out of the Woods. He has a YouTube channel. We've been texting back and forth. He'll kind of be my go-to guy for questions, and along with Marty from Woodmizer out in Shade Gap, PA. But I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to read the book. I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to read the book. It's a big, thick book, watch a few videos, and then kind of tear into things this weekend. It's not real hard to run. It's not. I mean, there's several different controls. I think I'll get onto it pretty quick. Just a lot of things to look out for, because you can definitely screw some things up if you're not paying attention. I remember years ago, this is kind of different, but somewhat the same. I used to run a drill. Yeah, if many of you know, I was a blaster. And I ran this little hydraulic drill. It was an Atlas Copco, you know, a little cab machine, hydraulic drill with rod changers. And the mill is much, much simpler than that, but it kind of reminded me of that in a way, because there's certain sequence you have to do things. Now that drill, for example, it was really easy to screw things up. You had not automatic rod changers, but it would assist you in changing the rods. And I think I counted in that cab one time, there's like 27 different controls and buttons and switches that you would have to hit all of them to drill one hole. Once you get onto it, it's just second nature. And I think it'll be a much quicker learning curve on this mill. But like I say, I'm new at this, a lot to learn, but I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun, it really is. But anyway, I think that's about it for the first video on the Woodmizer LX 150. You'll see many more, I promise you that. But anyway, like I always say, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like button, click subscribe, and share them with your friends. Thanks.